Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making a Christmas gift. It's a cocoa and coffee idea. I hope you'll stay tuned. So the first thing I need to do, I think, is I'm going to be making this as my material for around or inside this, but I need to make cover the edges of this. So I want to put it like right about there. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on its side for you. I'm going to put it like right like that. And somebody told me I need to use one of my little spatulas that I got at the Dollar Tree, but for this glue so I don't burn myself. But you know me, I can't figure out what I do with it. What else is new? Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the trim. And I'm just going to put a little dollop. I've got all kinds of little things to put on my piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue around the top. And then I'm going to start my trim. This trim I got at a garage sale for $10 for the whole bag, which I was thrilled about because, you know, whenever you get a bargain like that on something that you know you can use in a project like this. And I'm going to put a little bit more in the very end here. When I say a little bit, I always mean like a gob, because, you know, I'm not that good at the whole glue scene. The nice thing about doing a hot glue like this is that you're able to pull the material back off really easily if you didn't do a good job of gluing it in place. The only downside to it is that when you use hot glue on metal like this, it does dry really fast, faster than normal. So don't go too far with your trim, otherwise you're going to end up having hot glue that's no longer hot, if you know what I'm saying here. I'm going to put a little bit more. And when you have to mess with the trim like I just did, that delays enough time that you probably will end up having to re-glue. And if you end up with hot glue on the top, try to wipe it off now, but you should be able to just pick it off afterwards. I'm recycling an old lid. Your lid doesn't have to be glamorous for this job. It just has to work, and you just have to be able to cover the top of it. If you don't like your lid, if it's too banged up, you can always add paint to it, spray paint. Spray paint the whole thing, and that'll make you happy. It'll look a lot prettier. I'm not going to go to that effort, but you can if you want to. Okay, then I'm just going to take my scissors. Okay. So that's our first step. It looks cute. And with the bag of, if you do your trim right out of the bag and don't cut it, it'll save you. You don't have to have any waste. I like doing that whenever I can. Then I bought this, I think, at Joann's. It's elastic cord, and my material, I think you've already seen, is this red color. And what I thought I would do with this elastic trim is I thought I would take some of my beads, and if you don't have beads, that's okay. If you have some old costume jewelry that you can cut apart, I like to do that so that I end up with beads to use. That one has too small of a hole for this. My project is going to be a bummer. If I can't get any of these onto this cording, that's going to be a bummer. Let me see if that silver one goes on there. I think it will. And then, let me see if, I think that's one I already tried that didn't go in. Yeah, that one's too little. Okay, maybe I'll try a silver one. I have a couple of these silver beads that are, okay, I'm going to go with these. Nope, change my mind. I'm going to do a clear one, then a silver one. If I can get these on. Clearly, I cannot. Okay, so let's hope I can get these ones through. It's not looking good for those either. Might be going straight to my snowman. I think that's what we're going to have to do. If I change my mind and decide I want to do something different, I will. The other thing that happens is the ends of this kind of fray. I could have, if I wanted to take the time, I could have gotten a piece of tape and just taped around the end of this so that it doesn't fray, but you know me. When in doubt, just go crazy with it. Silver bead. It's like that song, Silver Bells. Only it's silver bead. Okay. Then we're going to just pull everybody down a little bit more. The hardest part about this whole thing is going to be trying to make sure that I can make it, make the knot that I'm going to make tight enough. I want enough. I don't want to run out of this elastic when I'm trying to make my knot. None of these would fit, which is a big bummer, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so I'm going to initially, I'm just going to try and tie this around, and if that doesn't work, then we'll go to plan B, which is going to be to just glue it onto there. I would prefer to tie it, but if I can't get the knots to work, then actually I think I'm going to do this kind of knot, because I think I have more, I'll be able to mess with it size-wise when I get it on here. If you follow this. All right, let me make my knot first, and then I'll see if I need to make any bigger. The other thing that's cool about making the knot now is, since it is elastic, I can just yank it to make it fit around here like that. And then let's get our little fella. I put him on upside down because why wouldn't I? Almost positive I got my elastic at Joann's. Come on, stay with me. There we go. And then I'm just going to slide everything around. I think I might not put him there. I think I might put him somewhere else on my jar. So for now, I think I'm just going to make sure my knot is really tight, and then I'm going to cut off some of this excess cording. Then I'm going to show you my tag. I cut some paper. It was just some regular Christmas paper that I had. It was like a 6x6, and I just cut Holly Jolly out of it and put it in my MISTI. And what I want to do is, I have the word Christmas in this one sentiment, so I'm going to take some I forgot what they're called, Post-it note paper, and I'm going to put those down. This one I'm going to put on my sentiment, that my tag, sorry, I'm going to put that one on my tag, and that should take care of the top part. I'm going to have to move it up a little bit. So the first line isn't going to be a problem. Then I'm going to put another one below, because I have 3 lines of sentiment here. Hopefully I can kind of eyeball it. That's good. Oh, hard to believe. So I'm just going to get some black Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, and I'm going to ink up, hopefully, just Christmas. And then I'm going to put another Post-it note. This time I'm going to put it on the MISTI, and I'm going to put it right on to the word fills, because that's right beside the word Christmas, and I don't want that to be a problem either. This is how you make an image, well, you make a sentiment work when you don't want to use the whole thing. I just wanted to see how I did with that. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to do, I didn't get the S in Christmas very good. This is a gift from my friend Sherry. It's one of the dry erase erasers that you get at the Dollar Tree, and she used it on her Misty, and I thought that was genius. She sent it to me, and I have to say, of all those tools that I've gotten so far, this is the one I like the best for making my Misty easier for me to use. Okay, let me see how I'm doing now. I'm gonna cover up the word fill again. I think we're gonna go with Christmas the way it is because I don't want to risk having an issue with it. And I can always write over the Christmas with a black marker. I probably will do that, but I am gonna flip it over because I do have the words to and from already inked up, not inked up, already in the Misty. Down there, I'm gonna move it over to the right. I think that'll do it right there. Okay, let's ink to and from. We'll get that. This is the first time I've used these stamps, and I'm afraid that I just don't know if they'll ink well. You know, sometimes the first time you use stamps, they don't like to ink up. And these ones, this is the biggest to and from I've ever seen. I got a kick out of that. They're so big. I have lots of to and from stamps, but I kind of like these ones because it is so big. My stamp, or my tag, is 2 inches wide by, it was 3.5 inches tall. And then I used an old Stampin' Up! Tag punch that looks like that. Can you see that image? And that's how you cut the very top with the hole. And I'm going to put a little bit of that cord through there too, so that we can put this together easily. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take some of the silver cord, I'm going to take it and fold it in half like that. And then I'm going to push it from the back to the front. I don't need this long of a piece, but I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe I do need this long if I decide to wrap it around the whole jar. I might put this around the jar at the top instead of the other piece. Okay, there's that. And this is going to be my tag, as you know. Let's try putting this around. Seeing where I need to get my knot. Right there. Same thing, I'm just going to make a knot like that. And then see if it's going to fit around my lid. I think it will. If you make this a little bit tighter, it does make it a lot easier to put it on your lid. And then it'll go like that. So I'm going to make sure my knot is nice and tight, and then I'll just cut off the rest. This, because of the knot, the way I made the knot, the knot's going to kind of stick up more. And you might need to put a glue dot on this to hold it onto the bottom of the jar because it does want to flop up. But we're going to worry about that later, which means I'm not going to worry about it at all. All right, let's get to our project. Again, this is a coffee and hot chocolate recipe that Rich and I love. I've been making it for a long time, and let me tell you, if you get coffee, if coffee gives you a kind of the shakes, or if you get a buzz from coffee, this might not be the recipe for you because it really makes me shaky. Here's my lid. I love it, but it makes me shaky. Okay, I have a piece of material, and the way I like to do this is I like to just kind of draw my idea of a circle around it so that I can cut it out easily. So I'm just going to take a Sharpie. I'm going to do it on the back because then I can make sure I cut it out well. Look out, little bead. Okay. So I think I want to go about here. You could get a plate or a bowl and make your circle that way. It's easier for me to just kind of eyeball it. And then I'm just going to cut it out. I don't know where I got this material, but it's really pretty, and I thought it was kind of, it has a Christmassy theme going. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll come back because I don't think anybody wants to watch me trim paper. not paper, trim fabric. I think I'm going to use my pinking shears too. I'll be back. So I already put my sugar in, which was 1.5 cups of sugar. Of course, I write everything below the video, as you know. Then they say use instant coffee. The instant coffee that I bought was from Walmart, and it looks like this. It's classic roast, instant coffee, medium, rich and smooth. Let me tell you, I would not call it a medium roast. It seems like it's a dark roast to me, which to me means it's really strong, but I don't know if that's what it means. But that's what the bottle looks like that I got. And the thing that I didn't like about it, hopefully you can see that in the bottle. Can you see that it's really big? The grind is really big. I didn't like that. And so what I decided I would do is I would make it smaller. And the way I've done that is I took this little hand grater, I don't know what it's called. It's a strainer. And I'm just running my hands through it. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do this, but honestly, I think it makes a big difference in the end result because your cocoa isn't, it doesn't take forever for everything to dissolve in the cup. Once you do this, the coffee dissolves almost instantly, which is great because a couple stirs with a spoon and you're good to go. And you can see that I've only have a few of those little street pieces left. And a couple more here when I get off my counter. I'll throw those out. Okay. So then you have those two in there. Then you're going to use a teaspoon. I use more. Oh, back to the coffee. If you want it stronger, they do tell you in the recipe that you can do up to 1.5 cups. I would never use that much because it's so strong. But if you like stronger, go with more. As I said, use 1/2 cup, not 1.5 cup. Then they say a teaspoon of cinnamon. I like a little bit more cinnamon, so I just kind of shake it in, which, you know, probably not the world's best idea, but I like it, so I don't care. I'm going to put a little bit more. It looks like a lot, but it's basically just coating the bottom. It's not a huge amount of cinnamon. Again, they say a teaspoon, but you know, I'm going with my system. You can use, when it comes to cocoa mix, you can make your own cocoa mix, but I'm using Walmart brand, great value. And I'm using 1.5 cups of this. I have a 1/2 cup measuring. And this does really create a lot of dust. So you might want to kind of dump it in there so that I can. As you know, my measurements are guessed. You know, I don't kill myself making sure that these are completely accurate. I got a lot of cocoa powder in the air, which I love because I love the smell of cocoa. One of my favorite colognes I wear is from a restaurant in New York City called Serendipity, and they make their own chocolate cologne. Oh, I just love the smell of that. I've worn it for so many years, and when I used to work, people at the bank would say, are you having hot chocolate? And I'd say no. And then they would keep asking me, and I'd finally have to admit that it was my cologne that smelled like that. But I love that. I have to say, I'm a fan of that. Then you're going to use regular creamer, or you can use a flavored creamer if you're really into a flavored creamer. I'm using 2 cups of it. If I have 2 cups, hopefully I do. Well, it's close. And again, I'm not going to sweat that because it's not that big of a deal for me. Since I didn't use that much coffee, I don't think it makes a difference if I don't use that much creamer. I think I already said the information is below the video of all, you know, all the ingredients and how much of each I use. And then you just want to stir it up. I'm just going to use my measuring cup to stir it. You just want to make sure that you don't have one big like area of just coffee. You want to make sure that everything's really intermixed well. It would probably be easier if I used like a whisk or something, but I don't care. I'm going with this. And once you get it into the vessel, you're going to put it in. You can shake it again. But my vessel is not going to be that much bigger, if at all bigger. I'm going to use a quart jar. And if it's close to the same size as your jar, you won't be able to really shake it around in there. So I'm doing that now. But if you had something bigger that you could shake it in, when I make it for us, I just make it in one of the old cocoa containers, and then I write on the top coffee cocoa, so I know it's the mixture. But you know as soon as you open the lid what it is, because it smells so good. So if you have one of these strainers that you would use when you're canning, that's really handy. If you don't, you want to make some kind of funnel for yourself, because it makes it a lot easier to put this into a quart jar if you do. I spill a little bit onto the table every time I do it, as I can. It smells so good. It's all cinnamony and chocolate and coffee. I love the smell of coffee, but I just don't usually drink it because I get too jittery from it. Hard to believe that I would get a little bit crazier than I normally am, but it is true. I get a little bit crazier than normal. If you would have used all of the creamer and all of the coffee, it makes about, I would say, 1 1/4. So just, you know, for your information. So if you make yourself a gift for somebody, you also have the excess for yourself, which probably would make maybe 2 or 3 cups. I like to write on the back of my tag how to make it so that whoever the recipient is understands exactly what they need to do. And you only mix it with hot water. You don't have to use milk. That's how you do it. You mix 3 tablespoons of the mixture. I usually use 4 because I have bigger cups. So it's up to you. I would put 3 tablespoons in and then give it a taste. And if you don't like it, then add, you know, if it's not strong enough, add more. So then I'm going to put my material inside. I'm looking for my lid. There it is. And you're going to put your lid inside. And you want to make sure that you pull everything. You pull your fabric to make sure that the fabric is centered. Sometimes it's hard with the fabric. Use fabric that's not really thick. I think this is a little bit thicker than I should have used. And I need to tell my recipient, don't pick it up by the top, because it'll be a problem if you do. Then I'm going to take my other piece that I did wrap around the top. Now you could re-wrap it around the top. We'll try that first, see if we like it. And if we don't, then we'll go to plan B, which is putting it somewhere else. I already almost put it on upside down again. Again, you just want to make sure your snowman is in the right direction. You probably never saw the snowman when I had it up there before. You can put it up there if you like it on the top, or I made my elastic a little bit wider, longer than I should have. And so you can, again, this is going to take a little bit of effort to do. You can put it on your jar. Hold on, I got to get all my pieces where I want them. You can put it on your jar down there. See how that looks? It's up to you where you want to put yours, but I think I like mine better at the top, so I'm going to take it off. I might have to knot it. I'm going to do that first. Knot it a little bit shorter. And I'm going to put my snowman at a different spot than my tag. He's going to be over on this side. There's that. So that's what it looks like. I hope this gave you an idea of something else you can do as a Christmas gift. It's inexpensive. So if you want to make this and you want to know how much each one of these containers will make for you, the one item that you'll go through faster is the creamer. And this is a 16-ounce bottle of creamer, and I think I got this at the Dollar Tree. I might not have, but I think I did. And you'll only be able to do 3 batches of the cocoa mix with one of these. So if you want to make a lot for gifts, this is the one item you're going to need to buy more of. You'll have enough of your cocoa. Let me look at the cocoa that I have here and tell you. You won't have any problem with your coffee, and you won't have any problem with your cinnamon. Sorry, I completely forgot what I was saying there. This is 27.7 ounces, and I've made 3 batches out of this. And actually, that probably won't make a 4th. So you'd want to, if you're going to make more batches, you're going to want a bigger container or 2 containers. I bought 2 of these when I bought them. I didn't buy 2 of the creamers, and I probably should have, because we go through a lot of it just for Rich and I. I think we only have enough for maybe 2 or 3 more glasses, cups of cocoa. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.